trained artisans that we call the roadside, we train fresh graduates in Midas so that they can design parts, they can design different things using Midas technology. So we've done all this for both skilled and unskilled artisan and skilled professionals in auto field. And that's what we intend to also do with the electric vehicle. We realize that electric vehicle, you need to be abreast with the current technology concerning that. And that's why we have started by first of all developing the curriculum, because that curriculum is going to be the guide for everybody that want to play parts here, that want to play role here. Just as you are mentioning, you discussed with doctor. Doctor was trained as a medical doctor, but today is now playing a major role in production of electric vehicle in Nigeria. The same way, because of the interest and because of expertise he has acquired outside the classroom. The same way we are doing with EV. There are some people that we acquire this experience not in the four walls of university, but we want them to be grounded. And that's why we have come up with this National Occupational Standards concerning that developed the curriculum for EV. So we have done that, and any moment from now again, we will be embarking on nationwide training of youth. We are already in the process, and we are going to introduce our youth to the common things in EV, the common things, because in EV you don't have plenty parts. So we need to let them know how do you charge, what's the different kind of charging connectors that are available, then all the little details that they need to know, and then how can you maintain an electric vehicle. These are things we are going to do, and in doing that, we are going to partner with people that are playing in that field. We are going to partner with professors, engineers. We are going to partner with engineers that are practically professional engineers, and also the vehicle assemblers or vehicle manufacturers. All these people, we bring them together, and we are going to organize those training and let Nigerians know how to handle EV vehicle. When we did the ICE, after training, sometimes we give them some, we like call it take home, like a diagnostic machine, for example. And with diagnostic machine, I was in one state recently, and when they were talking to us, one of them mentioned that we have been able to move them from analog to digital mechanics. So the same way we are going to do in EV. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Where you left it, you've moved past, the anxiety, the initial anxiety level. Now,
well, yes. So just picking up from where, so those anxieties that you had about charging, those are normal. It actually has a name. It's called range anxiety, because you are worried, where am I going to charge? I have 400 kilometers, but 400 kilometers is a lot. It's a lot. So
one way 400 kilometers will take you to as far as
yes, actually, I'll throw to it, and I understand, how these are very legitimate concerns. But the good thing is that people also need to take comfort in the fact that these are problems that other people have gone through, and people have actually worked their way through solving this. For example, charging. I have a charger at home. It costs, let me just throw out some numbers. If I were an Uber driver and I have our smallest product, for 4 hours you get 300 kilometers on that car. It costs 2,500 naira to charge that car. If you have the same vehicle in internal combustion car, 10 to 12,000 naira to fuel.
Per day.
Now, and you are not going to finish that, because when we've been here on the ground collecting this now, Uber drivers don't even drive 200 kilometers. So you will not even finish that charge. Not only that, if you have a car that has a 300 kilometer range and you are in Lagos, you are not going to charge but more than once a week. guaranteed. I don't charge more than once a week if I'm within town. So it's remarkable. It really relieves.
You mean if you're doing inner city driving?
Yeah, because don't forget that everywhere we go to in Lagos is about 22 by 24 kilometers. It fits in a box of 22 by 24. We don't drive a lot. We're just spending all our time in hold up. In Abuja, they drive a little bit more, but it's not a whole lot. So, yeah, people need to, but again, these concerns are valid, and our job is to actually make people understand, yes, your concern is valid, but now look at it this way. We have to educate the public, which is why we need the media. We have to partner with the media very tightly to educate the public and make them understand, because the truth is that the gas station is at home mostly, not where it's just, you have to just look at it a little bit different.
You don't have to go and be queuing.
No, you don't have to. And again, people talk about cost. Let me throw out some numbers to you. This is not a commercial. We just want to talk about EVs. So, an electric charger comes with, by the time the EV is anywhere upwards of $25,000-ish, it will come with its own charger 100%. Even if it were lower than that, and I'm just throwing out a number, a charger that you would put at home, you can easily get for $300-400. And
charge your vehicle at home?
Yes, the charger itself. And we have trained technicians that will install it for you. So some of the lower vehicles, the more affordable vehicles, may not come with a charger, but you can easily have a charger by us installed for you at home. It's not expensive. Not only that, what we have done as a company is we have actually provided a charging platform. We have already signed contracts. This is not a commercial. People can find out there are malls already in Lagos where we have banks of chargers. So that if you are a rideshare driver and you don't have a home where you can install a charger, you don't have steady power at home, well, you can park your car, charge it for 4 hours, and you can park it at 8 p.m. at night. By 12 midnight, your car is charged, and you are ready for your next day's work. 2,500 naira versus 20. Because if you're using a mid-size, it will be 20,000 a day. So,
sport utility vehicle?
Yeah, yeah, much more. So, our story is not just about an EV. Our story is very much about jobs. Because don't forget that a lot of the rideshare drivers quit because they can't afford to pay 10,000 naira a day. They quit driving because, how do I know that? Part of our testing, we started ordering rideshare rides by ourselves. We just wanted to know. Apart from paying rideshare drivers to get data, we were actually entering rideshare in Lagos before we even started using our own cars for the drivers.
Rideshare or ride-hailing?
Ride-hailing, the same thing. Rideshare, ride-hailing. There is the difference between American English and...
Okay, because rideshare, what we understand rideshare to be in this part of the world is that we live in the same neighborhood.
And then we share. Yes.
We go in the same direction.
Yes, but
we
to
don't
us,
really want to be wasting this thing.
To us, it's just the same thing. The same difference between boot and bonnet.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
English.
But English is just English. Yes. But on a more serious note, we find out that these drivers benefit. It is about jobs. It is about making a living. It is about a guy who is spending so much on a vehicle that the vehicle itself, he cannot afford it. Now, by the time you give him a piece of equipment that the cost of maintenance is 50 to 60% less. And I tell people, look, I cannot compete with a Tokunbo car. But where I beat the Tokunbo car is this. Before your Tokunbo car reaches your hand from the port, you are spending money. Because that car has already spent 200,000 miles somewhere. You're already spending money on it.
To be honest with you, I was shocked about 2 weeks ago when I saw the advertisement gallery of one of the local EV assemblers. and I saw a sports utility vehicle. A typical sports utility vehicle that if you're looking at it, ostensibly, it speaks to the design, the look and feel of a Japanese or North American sports utility vehicle assembled in Lagos, and the cost is about half of an average Japanese sports utility vehicle that goes for, say, 50 million naira.
Yes.
And I was thinking, so can it cheap buy? Honestly, I was
well, you'll be surprised. So one of the things, actually, one of the hardest parts we had to figure out was how do we get these cars affordable to even come and do this in Nigeria. That was very difficult. We had to use my contacts, my partner's contacts, because he does manufacture cars in the United States, to find the right vehicle at the right price. And when we were coming, we had specific vehicles we wanted to compete against. I'm not going to mention anybody's name.
But given the paranoia that is now pervading Europe, because I was reading an article in the Economics magazine about 2-3 months ago, and Europe is alarmed now that EVs are literally sweeping out, and they come with the best of smart technologies, Internet of Things technologies, like you may even forget your smartphone at home, and the vehicle will serve as your smartphone, will make you run your office businesses, will make you run things at home. Maybe you forgot to put off the cooker. Let me go back to the epilogue. We just have, as the person that personifies the standards for vehicular object, person that personifies the institution that also sets standard for how young Nigerians want to sign out from this show today. We know we're looking forward to when we have issues relating to automotive standards. But how would you want to sign out today, sir?
I want to sign out by assuring Nigerians that Rome was not built in a day. Dr. Falaye mentioned, we have to start from somewhere. And with what we have on ground, we can really even scale faster than some of these developed worlds when it comes to EV adoption. First thing, we have to first of all disabuse people's minds, because by providing the right information, knowledge gap, a lot of Nigerians just did not know or still don't know that you can actually charge an EV car at home, because it depends on the size of the battery. Some of the car you can use AC or alternative currents to charge, just like the way you charge your phone. The same way you can charge your vehicle at home. And if you want to use fast charger, some of the assembler of EV, some of them have fast charging devices. I was at a place one day, and I was there with electric vehicle, with EV vehicle, and a top person that you would think to know about electric vehicle was Marvel. I was asking, am I sure this is real electric? I have to take camera before I could believe that truly we could put electric vehicle on Nigerian road. So this is first thing we need is possible. Despite the fact that we have power challenges, but we know despite the power challenge, we still charge our phone. We still use electricity at home. We still use electricity in our offices. The same can be done here. Again, one of the reasons why the adoption is slow a lot in pushing for adoption of EV, because some people will say, oh, if I bring in infrastructure, we don't have the vehicle. And the people that want to buy the vehicle will say, building gradually. And that,
Thank you very much.
He has mentioned something about assuring Nigerians an electric vehicle is
series, etc. I taught myself to draw, and that meant 4 hours of sketching every day, minutely competent, where people will say, this doesn't suck. You actually had to practice.
For God's sake, Emeka, we don't even have enough guns or food. What were you thinking?
If you and Uzogo had not unleashed your unique brand of madness last January, we wouldn't be swimming in Biafran blood.
It was a revolution!
I was one of my uncles, and he got me a job in, then it was Vanguard newspapers in Apapa. And I got to meet all my heroes because in those days, I knew every cartoonist of every Nigerian publication by name because I would always look for the signature. Advertising was obviously the way to go. English then, if you're doing English, you're either going to be a teacher or something. I was like, no, this is a cool industry. This industry is really cool. It's really being paid to be creative. I was sent around the agency to learn every aspect of advertising. And when I got to TV production, the then head of TV production of ESO and you, then Mr. Greg Odutayo, said to me, okay, I want him. So he just made a request. There are many highlights. I've won awards for films I've made, TV series I've done. But let me just jump forward. The most recent thing I've done I'm extremely proud of is being one of the 3 directors on MTV Sugar, Niger. Then you have to learn. So when I came into the production, I was always asking questions. So I was on a quest to know why this visual image was better than this visual image. And that got me into studying and learning about production. It helps to be always focused on what will make you win. There's a very healthy sense of motivating yourself to always get things right. Make sure your work is up to standard. It resembles anything else across any other platform across the world. The second thing is it must have your identity. It must have your strong cultural identity.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamode Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Hello and welcome. I'm Emmanuel Olububukwu and this is the news update. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Nigeria Police Council have now been brought to Federal High Court in Abuja over an alleged unlawful tenure allegation for Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun. Max Okpara, a lawyer and human rights activist, is contesting the legality of Egbetokun's tenure under the amended Police Act. The suit seeks an order of injunction to prevent Egbetokun from continuing to hold out, present or parade himself as Inspector General of Police. The suit also questions the age for compulsory retirement and the need for formal notification of termination. Akwera seeks an 18-para case. Moving on, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has suspended Senator Dino Melaye due to alleged anti-party activities. The suspension was made by the Ward Party Executive Committee in Ayetoro, Ilagba Ward 1, after reviewing the disciplinary committee's report. Melaye's actions were deemed detrimental to the PDP's interest and unity. This move is not unprecedented, as the PDP has taken similar actions against other members accused of anti-party activities. Examples include Peter Balola, Samuel Otum, and Gabriel Suswan. The suspension is in line with provisions of Article 59(1) of the PDP Constitution, which allows the Ward Party ESCOs to take disciplinary actions against erring members. Now, Tyrese Aspil, a convicted killer who beheaded Tech CEO Fahim Saleh in 2020, was sentenced to 40 years in life in Manhattan. Aspil worked as Saleh's executive assistant and undid the alleged embezzlement of $400,000 from the Nigerian entrepreneur. Saleh called Aspil a brick when it discovered the betrayal and the stolen funds. Aspil testified that he started working for Saleh in 2018 after padding his resume with funny work experience. He was convicted of first and second-degree murder, grand larceny, and burglary in June. His legal aid lawyer argued that Aspil didn't deserve the FT prison sentence, citing medical literature that proves he was an emerging adult at the time of the crimes. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested Alhaji Suleiman Ganiu Aremu, a wanted drug baron, 2 years after being involved in 4 forward cocaine export attempts to Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Aremu was arrested in November 2022 after a passenger on a Qatar Airways flight was found with 400 grams of cocaine. The agency linked Aremu to the arrested suspect and their associate, blocking bank accounts linked to the cartel. Aremu claimed to be involved in property development, hotel management, and running a cloth business. Still on the news update, at least 21 people have died in a motor accident on the Kaduna-Abuja highway between Kaduna and Niger State. The accident involved a truck and a passenger commercial bus heading to Kano. The accident occurred near a traffic diversion around Niger State, forcing vehicles to drive on a single lane due to ongoing highway reconstruction. The truck driver fled the scene, leading to heavy traffic for several hours as 3 surviving passengers were rushed to Umaru Musa Memorial Hospital for medical attention, while the victims' remains were deposited at the hospital's mortuary. The Lagos State government has announced that traffic will be diverted away from Eko Bridge for emergency repairs by the Federal Ministry of Works. The repairs will be carried out in 4 phases, with the bridge intermittently, fully or partially closed, depending on the work schedule. Motorists are advised to use alternative roads during the repairs, such as connecting Costain to Akpogbo, also connecting Costain to Funshaw Williams Avenue, also connecting Costain to Alaka Funshaw Williams Avenue, or going through Akpapa and linking Oyingbo to Adekunle to also link to Third Mainland Bridge. Lagos State Traffic Management Authority LATMA officers will also be deployed to the rehabilitation areas and alternative routes. Chris Sigoso has ordered the federal government to intervene in the growing economic hardship faced by Nigerians. He also called on journalists to get set agendas for the greater good of Nigerians during a colloquium in Jos, the Plateau State capital.
Many of the policies of the government at present, they may be well-intentioned, but some are not well thought out. There's a difference between a well-intentioned policy and a well-thought-out policy. The policy of the current federal government is aimed at growing the economy, but you can't grow when the wheels or the tires of the vehicle are weak. Inflation rate is very, very high. Exchange rate is out of the roof. Unemployment rate is out. These are the 3 key fundamentals. So when unemployment, inflation, and exchange rate are not in your control, it means whatever policy you have in place, you won't see the impact immediately. And that's why Nigerians have not seen the benefits of some of the policies we have made in place. What we need now, and urgently, is good governance. And what does good governance mean? Good governance means the effective, just, and transparent management of public resources and the strengthening of institutions.
There is no better time than now for us as journalists to activate our social responsibility and set the agenda for this country.
Feeding is becoming more and more difficult. Transportation, healthcare, school fees, rent have gotten beyond the reach of most citizens. My dear colleagues, we do not only owe it as a duty to report that life is becoming more and more unbearable for the average citizen, but also contribute to setting the agenda on the path to better life. It is in the search for answers to the many troubling questions confronting us, particularly the agitations by Nigerians for best governance practices, that gave birth to this colloquium. Amidst Nigeria's economic challenges, the quest for good governance.
The Plateau State Governor, represented by the Commissioner for Information, commended the role journalists are playing in Plateau State.
As Commissioner of Information and Communication, I've had the privilege of working closely with many of you, if not all of you, and I can attest to your professionalism, dedication, and commitment to the truth. Your work has been instrumental in promoting the government of His Excellency Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang. Today, we gather to recognize your contributions and reaffirm our commitment to a partnership that has yielded tremendous benefits for our state. We count on your continued support and partnership to achieve our vision for a greater plateau. I want to assure you that this administration values press freedom and is committed to creating an enabling environment for journalists.
To the immediate past government of Plateau State, to the government of Plateau State today, and all those individuals whom have contributed immensely towards the development of the NUJ in Plateau State.
And out to other parts of Africa, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, the president of Senegal, has now announced a snap elections on November the 17th after dissolving the country's parliament. Analysts believe Faye, whose party does not currently hold a majority, has had high chance of securing one. The opposition platform, Benno Bokk Yakaar, accused Faye of perjury, as Faye, who also released from prison in April, pledged reforms to improve living standards, stamp out corruption and secure a high share of Senegal's natural resources. However, these promises have not been implemented due to Faye and Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko's party's lack of majority in parliament. Unauthorized migration to European Union nations have now decreased sharply in the first 8 months of 2021, despite political rhetoric, violence and gains by far-right anti-immigration groups. However, migrant arrivals to the Canary Islands have seen a notable surge as irregular migration dominated the European parliamentary elections in June and impacted local elections in Eastern Germany. Preliminary United Nations figures show our move out South Africa on September 11th to the 23rd commemoration of the 9/11 attacks took place in the US, with President Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and former President Donald Trump standing together at Ground Zero. The attacks killed 2,977 people and left thousands of bereaved relatives and survivors. During the ceremony, some spoke for peace, while others delivered political messages. The US responded by unleashing a global war on terror, primarily in the Middle East, following the hijacking of planes that destroyed the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. The US supports the addition of 2 permanent seats for African countries on the United Nations Security Council following President Joe Biden's announcement 2 years ago. The US believes that Africa's current 3 non-permanent seats do not fully benefit from their knowledge and voices. However, Washington opposes giving veto power to African countries holding the 2 permanent seats, as it makes the Security Council's work dysfunctional. The US also supports the creation of an additional rotating seat for small island developing countries, as these 39 states have a critical insight on international peace and security issues, including climate change impacts. The US plans to draft a resolution to reform the Council. And on to business, Nigeria's Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has fined Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, EDC, 1.69 billion naira for overbilling customers. The fine is part of a September 2024 supplementary order signed by Vice Chairman Musliu Hussaini and also Commissioner Legal Licensing and Compliance, Dafe Akpeneye. The order mandates ADC to monitor service levels, particularly regarding electricity supply, to ban feeders and procure a minimum of 61 megawatts of embedded generation with at least 30 megawatt source from renewable energy to improve electricity supply reliability. The Commission has approved new tariffs effective from September 1st, 2024 and made provisions for compensating customers for service failures, especially for those on banned feeders. And entertainment, Nigeria's social media landscape has recently been abuzz with talented content creators whose impressive work and passion are gaining recognition both locally and globally. To celebrate these trailblazers, the Social Media Awards will be held in October, providing a platform to honor the exceptional influencers, brands and emerging creators who are shaping the country's vibrant digital media scene. Richard Essay has this report.
The second edition of Social Media Awards, titled The Spotlight, is set to take place in October. This initiative aims to recognize and honor content creators, influencers, and businesses that support and promote these creators and their diverse talents.
What interests me most is this brand that uses young people to promote their products and services, because the truth is, if these guys are creating the content and you're not there to support them, you don't engage them, you don't patronize them, they will not be able to continue. But they keep doing it because you are there to support them. I want to say thank you to all the brand using the social media influencers and content creators. Thank you for the brand making us proud. And then for the social media influencers themselves and the content creator, it's your time, but we were here to celebrate you.
These awards aim to motivate and encourage young Nigerian content creators and the businesses that support them as influencers and creators struggle to monetize their work across social media platforms.
Make them to stay motivated by putting up this award, because with this award, when these social media platforms are not recognizing them, are giving them the incentive that they deserve. With this award, they stay motivated. The aim is to recognize those in the social media, the content creators, the influencers, and the organizations who are using these social influencers to do their business.
Impressions so far so good. It's actually been a spectacular event, and I just want to say real kudos to the organizers for bringing up this platform to be able to appreciate social media influencers. It's not an easy task, creating content, having creative hubs and everything. So I think it's a fantastic event and platform.
In the digital age, content creation and social media influencing have enabled individuals, particularly young people, to establish their relevance and gain financial independence. Celebrating these influential figures is one way Nigerians can continue advancing in the social media landscape. Richard Ese, Plus TV News.
And lastly, move on to sports news. The Honourable Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owen Eno, has now warned that any attempt at age cheating at the National Youth Games would not be tolerated, reiterating that games were intended for athletes of 15 years and below. Senator Eno emphasized the importance of upholding the integrity of the games by strictly adhering to the age requirements called on participating states to embrace the spirit of fair play and sportsmanship. He also urged spectators and fans to support the young athletes representing their states in the various sporting events, as this was contained in a release issued on Thursday by the Special Advisor to the Honourable Minister, Diana Mary Inson. The statement disclosed that the Minister officially declared the games opened on Thursday at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, the capital of the Delta State. And that's it on the news this hour. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Plus TV Africa and Plus Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us on LineMix.tv and Glo TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Emmanuel Olubobokun, and thanks for watching.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bukky November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hello and welcome to the Literary Bar. As you know, this bar is always open and I get very excited when you join me right here. So September is here, the beginning of the famous Ember months, when we are reminded to be careful whilst driving because we are coming to the end of the year. So let's make it a special September to remember. Speaking of driving, how are you coping with the new fuel price? Now, wow. If it's too expensive to go out, grab a book, or better yet, join me at the bar because we're always open. The 8th of September is International Literacy Day. The theme for this year, 2024, is promoting multilingual education, literacy for mutual understanding and peace. If you're of a particular age, you might remember Wazobia. That was Nigeria's attempt at attaining peace or promoting peace through cultural cohesion via multilingual education. Also, September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And my guest today knows a thing or two about sickle cell, and he's also an author. So I'm delighted to have him join us here today at the bar to talk about literacy and sickle cell. So go grab a drink and join us after the break. Welcome back. So in the past week, Nigeria got a brand new beauty queen. Chidinma Adechina was crowned the most beautiful girl in Nigeria. She's really beautiful. Whatever the issues might have been, it's a heartwarming story that the proverbial stone that was rejected by South Africa in this case is wearing the crown jewel bestowed on her by her fatherland, Nigeria. We wish Chidinma every success in the Miss Universe contest in Mexico, slated for November. Now, another beautiful Nigerian athlete also made Nigeria and Africa proud during the Paralympics in Paris. 18-year-old Miriam Eniola Bolaji won bronze in badminton, a feat yet to be achieved at the Olympics by an African competitor in badminton. Bolaji has reduced mobility in her left leg after an accident when she was a child. So congratulations, ladies. And not to forget the men. A king got his bride. 56-year-old King Mswati of Eswatini, formerly Swaziland, just got married to his 16th bride. And she's none other than 21-year-old Nomcebo Zuma, Jacob Zuma's daughter. The 21-year-old caught the king's eye at the annual reed dance in Umhlanga, Eswatini. The spectacular reed dance is an opportunity to school young virgin schoolgirls in the Zulu culture. During the ceremony, the girls are a sight to behold. They wear short beaded skirts, decorated with fringes and buttons, together with anklets, bracelets, necklaces, and beautiful sashes. Their chastity and purity is also a big attraction for the king. So congratulations to the king and his 16th wife. And of course, his new father-in-law, Jacob Zuma, the former president of South Africa. Congratulations to everybody, the queens and the king. So after the break, you will meet my guest, and it is his birthday too. This is our first birthday at the Literary Bar. So we'll be popping something right after the break. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me at the bar. My guest today is Abayomi Oyelami. He's a writer, radio host, media PR personality, a genetic counselor, and a non-profit leader. He's a graduate of chemistry from the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Lautech. Yomi is currently the communications officer at SAMI, Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative. But first, we'll be talking about his book, Finding Purpose for Kids. But most importantly, it is Yomi's birthday. Happy birthday, Yomi.
Happy birthday.
I told you we'll be popping things. So, is it me or you who'll be doing this?
Anyone.
make. All right. So happy birthday. So, Yomi, should I tell them how old you are?
Yes, please do. It's
So Yomi is 40.
Yes.
Single.
Yes.
Searching or we're stop searching?
I'm searching.
You're searching.
Yes.
So ladies.
AA first.
Ladies.
They will not talk about that thing.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I told you, Yomi is wearing 3 caps actually. He's an author. He works for Sickle Cell as an advocate, and it's his birthday. So this is the 3rd cap for today, the celebration cap. So Yomi, I'm really, really happy that you're here. But first of all, let's toast to you. Yes.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Welcome.
Thank you
And
very much.
thank you so much for spending your birthday with us.
Yeah.
And I'm just really, really glad that you're here. And then you have this amazing book that you wrote for children. And this plays right into the theme of Literacy Day for the year, encouraging literacy through multilingual education. And like I said earlier, Nigeria tried with Wazobia.
Yes.
And for a long time, it was amusing then, but it's still part of us, you know. So let's find out why you wrote this book. And then it's almost as if you had the foreknowledge, because this book is written both in Yoruba and English. And so that's part of the multilingual education that you already came up with. So Yomi, why did you write Finding Purpose for Kids?
All right. Thank you very much for having me on Literary Bar today. It's a great privilege to be here on such a day as this.
Yes.
My 40th birthday. That's awesome. I couldn't have planned this. And that takes us back to purpose.
Yes.
There is a purpose to everything in life. God has actually purposed us to be here. We weren't here by accident.
Yes.
So writing this book comes to me. Firstly, I know I'm a writer. I write poems. I write articles and all of that. So going to service about 10 years ago, I was like, what makes you an author? It is when you have a published work.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, now that I'm going for service, no matter how much I'm being paid, I'm going to save a part out. I want to publish myself. If I can't pay all the big names, but I can publish myself. And that led to having the first 1,000 copies of this book.
Okay.
And that's how I became a published author.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was, in the book, I'm trying to let children know that there is a purpose to their existence. Growing up for us, they tell us, okay, what do you want to become? What do you want to become? Okay, I want to become a doctor. And then we see all of those things. And then if I look back at 25 years, sitting here today, I was like, I don't think I'll be writing. I don't think I'll be somewhere that will be on air talking about books and all of that, because all of my mind I was thinking about doctor.
Be on the radio,
be on
a
radio.
counselor.
Yes.
And all of that.
Yeah.
I like this book because of its simplicity, and also because you talked about it through a parable.
Yes.
There's Baba Agba,
Yes.
who is talking to the children,
Yes.
about people trying to find, about the young men inside
Yes.
who wanted to inherit their father, who was a
yes.
good king.
Yes.
And even the shenanigans that went inside one of them, I think Adebi.
Yes, Adebi.
Trying to take over
The
throne.
Yes.
And that also keys into even the political shenanigans that we're having today.
Exactly.
But I also love the fact that you talked right into the Yoruba pantheon.
Okay.
The oracle, the Ifa.
Yes.
And that. And so there is nothing wrong in educating children from our culture.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about cultural cohesion, is also encouraging children to know their background
Back
and
to
the
the roots.
stories.
Yes.
And the stories that helped us to find. So I would just want you, acting like Baba Agba, to tell the children something in Yoruba, and then you
Okay.
can translate in terms of finding their purpose.
Okay, ẹ̀yin ọmọdé láyé ìgbà ìwáṣẹ̀ a máa ń sọ wípé ṣẹlẹ̀rú àgbo àgbàrá àgbo lọ́ṣún fi ń wẹmọ rẹ̀ kí dókítà ò tó dé. What does that mean? We are saying that in the years of eons, our fathers, our grandfathers, our parents, they also have a way of taking care of their parents, of themselves, their children. We also have a well-established way of life, talking about our health, our education, and every aspect of our life. So we weren't just some bunch of men and women who were just climbing trees and all of those things that you might have heard.
That we both still, people think that we're still doing. They ask me, where are the animals? You live, how many animals? You climb trees? Yes?
Yes, so we actually, it's a culture. There is an established culture called the African culture that educates, that leads you on the way of life. And we are saying that this culture still exists.
Yes.
And we can actually still take valuable lessons from there. And so I was using this book to marry what we have in the past, bring it to what we have now, and let's have a fine mix. And that's what we have with this book today.
Yeah, but the book is small but mighty because there's so many lessons in it. And I like when the Adebiyi usurped powers from his
father.
From his father.
Yes.
You know, and Adesegun was sidelined, even though they thought he was a bad person. But the brother had to pay and bribe his way into being a king.
The office, yes.
And because he didn't have the passion for the people, he ended up being a terrible king. And can be a leader at any point where you are in life. Yes. Speak a little bit more about that.
Yes, so talking about leadership, it is
and
not...
feel free to use Proverbs to say that.
So, talking about leadership, it is not until you have a crown, it is not until you have a exalted office that people are saying the excellency, honorable, and all of those things. Those are not the things that makes you a leader. Those are not the things that makes you a leader. You are a leader in every sphere of life that you find.
Proper guardianship.